Hello guys, we are going to review how to solve multi-step equations. So we're going to start with this equation that has fractions, parentheses, variables on both sides. In that way we can have a very good review of how to solve multi-step equations. We're going to start following the steps that we learned before. We're going to distribute if parentheses are present. In this example, I have parentheses right here on the left side of the equation and also on the right side of the equation. So I'm going to start by using the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. So I'm going to multiply the negative 8 times positive 8 and then the negative 8 times negative 1. Remember, in front of the x, there is an invisible negative 1. Then after I do that, I'm going to multiply 4/5 times, you guessed it, times 1, because there is a 1 in front of the x, and then 4/5 times positive 10. So I'm going to start with that. And negative 8 times 8 is negative 64. Negative 8 times negative 1 gives me positive 8. Don't forget the x is still there. Then I'm going to multiply 4/5 times 1. Any number times 1 is the number itself. So it's going to be 4/5. Don't forget the x is still there. And then I'm going to multiply 4/5 times 10. I'm just going to write it and then I'm going to do my multiplication in just a minute. We learned that when we are multiplying this, we can do it the old-fashioned way by putting an imaginary 1 under the 10 as a denominator and then multiply 4 times 10 and then 5 times 1. That's one way. But we also learned how to do it with elimination. So I know that 10 is divisible by 5 and 10 divided by 5 is 2. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. So that means that I'm going to rewrite this side of the equation. And then the 4/5 x is still there. And this one over here, I have 4 times 10. But now the 10 is not really 10, it's a 2. So it would be 4 times 2, which is 8. And then 1 times 1, which is just 1. I can put the 1 under this, so just leave it like that. So I'm going to continue solving the equations I already distributed and get rid of the parentheses. Now I'm going to get rid of the denominators by multiplying by the least common denominator. Well, lucky me, the only denominator is 5, so that's the least common denominator. So I'm going to multiply everything by 5. So I'm going to multiply this one by 5. I'm going to multiply this one by 5. I'm going to multiply this number by 5. And I'm going to multiply this number by 5. When I do that, I get 5 times 4 is 20, carry 2. 5 times 6 is 30. It would be 32, 320. 8 times 5 is 40. And don't forget the x. And this 5 cancel out with this one. 5 divided by 5 is just 1. And so this is just 1. And 4 times 1 is 4. Don't forget the x. And then 8 times 5, which is equal to 40. Okay? So now I'm ready to solve my equation. I got rid of the denominator. I'm going to combine like terms. This one cannot be combined with this one. This one doesn't have an x. This one has an x. This one has an x. This one doesn't. So I cannot combine these two. And I cannot combine numbers that are on one side of the equation with a number that is on the other side. So I cannot combine numbers. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to move a variable with the lowest coefficient to one side using opposite operations. So the lowest coefficient for the x is this one, the 4. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And in that way, my x's are going to be on the left side only. So I'm going to do negative 4x Here I made a tiny mistake, so I'm going to erase it. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 4x on this side, and I'm going to subtract 4x on this side. When I do that, I get negative 320, 36x. The 4x's are gone, bye-bye. And then I have the 40. Okay, so now I'm going to move constants to the other side. This constant over here, this number that doesn't have an x is bothering me, so I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to add 320 on both sides, and that way these ones cancel out. So 320 on this side as well. And that gives me 36x equals to 360. And I know that you already kind of know that if I divide this side by 36 and this one by 36, I'm gonna get x equals to 10. That's all, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you.